Hello and welcome to Sovereign RPG. I am Sovereign, and today I'm going to be talking about why I haven't been able to upload as much as I'd like to. Now before we get into the meat of it, I've started streaming on Twitch. I'll be doing this more regularly because Spain has shut itself down and we can't really leave the homes anymore due to the coronavirus. So make sure to check the link out down in the description, hit that follow button, let's see how quickly we can get affiliated. You can also follow me on social media and support the channel, links will be in the description as well. If you are new here, this channel will be dedicated to Eve Echoes once it's finally released. So to keep up to date with the latest news and announcements, hit that sub button and ding that bell. Cue intro. Now to why I haven't been posting as much as I'd like to, and the magnificent albeit horrible story behind it. And no, it's not because we haven't been receiving Echo's intel. So where to start? I suppose we should start at the beginning of the shit show week. Sonia and myself have gotten some really bad news this week, during one of our baby scans. There have been some complications that I don't really want to go into too much detail about as it's quite personal. And if that wasn't bad enough, our 2-year-old son Gray has also been quite ill for about 6 months. On and off, with bronchitis here and bronchitis there, or bronchitis, as the doctors like to say over and over and over again. Once they even told me that he had bronchitis on top of his already existing bronchitis. Someone please fucking explain that to me. But he was still going to nursery, so it allowed us some time to really let what was happening sink in with the new baby. Sonia had to stay in hospital to make sure our son was okay, which we have now since named Luca, and I wasn't going to argue with her since I was allowed to name our first son without her having any input. Probably shouldn't have been able to do that. Anyway, I was taking care of Gray during this time, which I admit was very hard. It's normally Sonia that does all the baby stuff because I'm not very good at it. Sonia likes to do most of the stuff with our son. With help from me, of course. She's basically the brains behind the whole outfit. Having him full time really was tiring for me. I'm not saying he's a bad boy, but he's a 2-year-old, and if you have kids, you probably understand what I'm saying. And with being at the hospital all day and then going picking up Gray, making sure he was fed, making sure he was washed and clothed and put in bed. By the time all that had been done, I was snoring right next to him. And just when you think that's enough, we finally get Sonia home, and that's only because they started to close down the hospitals and only allowing one person per room. And because of the problem with the baby that we had, it wasn't such an important thing because they couldn't do anything about it. She was there being monitored. There was nothing they could really do from the hospital that they couldn't do by us coming in every other day for a scan. So now we're sitting at home and we're going through the bank account. I just got my taxes back. Gotta love when you get your taxes back from England. We were transferring those funds from our English account to our Spanish account using a website called TransferWise. And as we were looking at the bank account, we're both sitting there, we're both looking at the screen, and as we're looking at it, we see this massive chunk of money just disappear from the Spanish account. Now I thought, oh, it's a mistake, she's just sent money to the English account by accident instead of sending it backwards and blah blah blah. But it turns out some sneaky little had just robbed our bank account. The fucker had gone in and stolen our hard-earned savings while we were looking at it. I couldn't fucking believe it. In 1 week, fate had hit me in my 2 soft spots, my babies and my wallet. At this point, I was fucking devastated. Getting good news and bad news with Luca every other day, while taking care of our ill son Gray, and getting robbed by Frankie fucking Four Fingers. And you'd think this is where that story ends, because there's not that much that can happen in 1 single week, but no, it didn't end there. The cherry on top of this shite cake needs to be added. Right on the top. Gray has had a high fever over the past couple of days. But that's nothing really new for him because he's always had this bronchitis and he gets an infection, whether it's his skin or his lungs, so he's always having a fever up and down, up and down. And we can help it generally with paracetamol. Give him a bit of paracetamol, the temperature drops down for the day, then it might come back the next day until the infection is finally cleared up. But we didn't want to take the chance. We took him to the hospital and they told us basically that it was an ear infection and they sent us on our way. Considering this is just at the moment in time where Spain's just about to start shutting down all of its infrastructure. All the jobs are being sent home, hospitals are closing down, bars are closing down, restaurants are closing down, shops are closing down, you can only buy essential foods in supermarkets, etc. So they're getting people in and out, and they just turn around, they saw a little bit of redness in his ear and said, oh, he's got an ear infection. So they sent us on our way and told us to give him some ibuprofen. Now, the next day, while I was cleaning up the house, I started coughing a lot. And I thought, just dusting, because I was dusting the top of the cupboards, the wardrobes and stuff. She was over at her mum's with the baby and Gray. So I had a little bit of time to do a bit of a deep clean. So I started cleaning on top of the thing. And I thought, you know what, I was coughing, dust, whatever. But the cough carried on going over the night. And then Gray started to get an even higher fever. And then I started to get a fever. I started to feel hot. I didn't check with the thermometer. I just knew something was up. So the next day we took Gray to the doctor. I think you can see where I'm going with this. Now you can probably see it in my face that I look fucked. I'm exhausted. It has been a long week and we've hardly slept, and now we have family-run coronavirus. Turns out Gray had coronavirus, which obviously means, because we spend a lot of time with him, that I have it. Sonia has it. Her mum and dad has it. So now the whole family can sit together round the bonfire and tell stories about how we got coronavirus. What a fucking way to end the week. Now with the story out of the way, I guess we can talk about how I'm going to be going forward with this, because I don't know if my voice is going to vanish, because it's already started to, my throat's starting to hurt. You can probably tell the difference in my voice. But I'm really hoping to get as much content out to you guys as possible. As soon as there's any announcements on Eve Echoes, I'll be the first to jump in there, first to put it on, first to let you know, and give you my thoughts and opinions on said announcements or news. We do have a Q&A with CCP coming up, part 2 on that one. And also a Q&A with GameBet, the devs behind Stellaris Mobile. So keep an eye out for them. Throw me a like just out of sheer pity, and hit that sub button if you'd like to see a man get thoroughly shit on all week. And also to get the latest news and announcements on Eve Echoes. Fly safe, and remember, toilet paper's for wiping asses, not hoarding in the garage.